Hi guys, I wanted to share with you guys a mod that I did to my Magpul stock that may be something you might be interested in. What we have here is the Magpul ACS-L. I've been running the ACS stocks for a while on my carbines, and I gotta say I really like this stock. I like it a little bit better than the CTR. It still has the easy, quick adjustment. It has the friction lock, but it's able to achieve a longer length of pull overall, which I think is a plus. I'm also able to achieve the length of pull I need with less adjustment, which leaves me with more buffer tube inside the stock, which gives me a more stable platform. And I'm really liking the cheek weld. I'm able to get a much better cheek weld, which is more important when I'm using a magnified optic and engaging targets at longer range. So I found the stock to be very beneficial to help get a better cheek weld. And I really like the stock except for the sling mount. And what they give you for a sling mount is basically this. You get a small sling swivel cup and a screw. And you have the option to place it either on this side, like that, and the screw comes back, or vice versa. It can be mounted left or right, but then you're left with this big old swivel sticking out here right up by the cheek piece. And it is not anti-rotational. So when you put your sling swivel in here, expect it just keeps spinning. And it places it pretty high and pretty bulky, and it's held by just that one screw sticking way out there like that. Didn't really like that. I thought that was kind of a negative. Other than that, the stock is fantastic. I went with the light because I don't need the extra storage for the batteries. It has a small storage compartment, which I really don't utilize for anything. But it does have a small space, a small flat area on the back of the stock here, which is perfect for going onto a rear bag and getting that precision shot and then having that cheek piece. But the sling swivel leaves a lot to be desired. So I'll show you what I did. Now, if you're a right-handed shooter, it's going to work out great for you. If you're a lefty, I'm sorry, I don't have any advice for you on that. You're stuck. But what I did, since I have this small storage compartment, which I have access to the internal side of the stock, I mounted a sling swivel socket inside the stock. Now this one here I picked up from Midwest Industries. It's a sling swivel mount for a Ruger SR22. It's designed to be service mounted on the fore end of a Ruger SR1022. It came with some hardware, and it came with a heavy duty sling swivel. So if you pick that up, and then I mounted it inside of here. Now you will have to cut it down. It is overall too wide, and you'll have to re-drill. You'll have to cut it down. I mean, it's aluminum. It's real easy to cut. If you got a hacksaw or bench vise, you can cut it down. You're going to need a drill, and you have two options. You can either drill and through bolt it with a bolt and a nut, or you can drill and tap it. Either way will work fine, but it will give you a sling swivel that's flush mounted and anti-rotational. So now when I put my sling swivel stud in, it sits at a much better location. It doesn't rotate. Wherever I place it, it stays there. It does take up a little bit of room inside the spare compartment. Now I got both examples here. This one I drilled and I through bolted with nuts. You can kind of see here. I can still get two 123 lithium batteries in there. You can probably get a couple AA's, a couple AAA's. You can still get a couple small parts in here. But this one here was put in here with bolts and nuts. The bolts that came with it were a little too short. So if you're going to go with, if you're going to nut and bolt it, you're going to need some longer hardware and some nuts, obviously. It doesn't come with nuts. It comes with two 1032 button head screws. The button heads are really nice. They're rounded. They use an Allen wrench, real nice. So this one here was through drilled and then nut and bolted together. I have another example here also of one right here on this stock in black. This is the hardware that came with the sling adapter. This one here I decided to drill and tap, so I was able to use the existing screws. You can kind of see inside there. Doesn't take up a lot of space, fits really flat, spreads the load out over the whole area of the stock, so it's not going to fail on you. Those screws are put in with a little Loctite. Those are 1032s, but I did have to cut it down. Then I had to drill new holes, tap it, and then just basically laid out the holes in the stock, dropped it in, bolted it in, and now I have a beautiful flush mount sling swivel cup that's looks more appropriate. I think the stock should have something more like that. That sling swivel that they stick on right there kind of looks like an afterthought. They need to have something a little better, and it needs to be anti-rotational. It does have place here for a small sling loop, but I like to be able to run the quick disconnects. I love having slings, but when I don't need them, I like to be able to get them off, get them out of the way. When I need them, and I can't stand not having anti-rotational and having things to get all twisted up on me. So if this is, if you're in love with the ACS stocks, it's a great stock. Like I said, I get a length of pull I need with very little adjustment. Leaves a lot of overlap in the buffer tube in the stock. Makes for more solid lockup. Great cheek piece. Really able to do some precision work. Got a nice area for a rear bag. But taking that Midwest Industry mount, cutting it up, little drill and tapping, and I got the stock from Magpul that should have been made, I think, with a much nicer flush fit sling swivel that was anti-rotational. So you're not stuck with what you have. Use your imagination and set your gear up to do what you need to do. There are no limits. So this is something that works great for right-handers, but lefties here, I'm afraid, I'm not sure what you're going to do. You may be stuck with the factory swivels, or you may have to use the sling loop on the bottom. But this is an option, something you can do. So if you're interested, that's Midwest Industries Ruger SR22 mount, and this is a Magpul ACS-L stock, and together it makes a pretty cool little setup. Thanks for watching.